My name is Dr. Aissa McGuirl. I'm a fitness-focused ortho-pelvic physical therapist. In this video, we're going to be going over the 7 mistakes women commonly make when returning to the gym after kids. Before I get into these 7 mistakes, I want to talk to you first. So, social media makes us feel like we could snap back just like this. It makes us feel like we should do a whole bunch of cardio, lift heavy weights, diet, just to snap back really quick. In actuality, it is not a snap back. It does not happen like that. And the people that are snapping back, you do not know what they are doing to do that. You also don't know the health consequences that are happening to these people as a result of that. And that's why I want to talk to you about these 7 biggest mistakes, is because there is so much misinformation out there, even misinformation from potentially medical sources. So I want to explain to you the 7 biggest mistakes so that you don't make these mistakes and you are actually able to help your body in this vital postpartum period. And why is this period so vital? It's because you just carried a baby for potentially 9 months. You just pushed out a baby. You potentially had maybe a C-section where they just went through 7 layers of tissue. Now you're navigating potentially new relationship changes. You have a new baby. You potentially might have to work, because I know a lot of us, we have this new baby and we have to go right back out to work. And that is hard. It is very hard. And now you have to deal with all of these unrealistic expectations and this misinformation. And I just want to help give you the proper information so that you can take control of your body, because you just did all this. You are doing all of this. You deserve to feel comfortable in your body. And that's what this video is going to do for you. Mistake number 1, not doing anything after you give birth. This is probably the most common thing that doctors will tell you after you give birth. And what I'm saying right here, I'm not telling you to go to the gym after you give birth, because that would be stupid. Don't do that. Don't go to the gym the day after or days after you give birth. Your body does need rest. You do need to recover. It's going to be a lot of resting in this 0 to 6 week phase. But doing nothing is absolutely different than taking the steps to allow your body to recover. In the 6 week period, you're taking care of a newborn, taking care of yourself, potentially taking care of other children, potentially taking care of your house as well. That is a lot on your body. And like I said, rest is so important, but you need to be able to have the ability to control your body to be able to do all of these additional tasks. If you are just resting, if you're just resting and doing all of these tasks, it's going to be harder on your body. And then when you get that go ahead at that 6 week point, your body is not going to know what to do, because 1, you never connected with your body. So in this 0 to 6 week phase, yes, I do want you to rest, but you want to make sure that you're getting that connection with your body at that same time. And that brings me to mistake number 2, not engaging properly. And when I say engaging properly, what I'm talking about is your pelvic floor and those deep ab muscles. During pregnancy, you're going to have that natural lengthening of your pelvic floor, natural lengthening of your ab wall. Those muscles were naturally lengthened, and because of that, they're a little bit more vulnerable and they don't work like they used to. So we need to learn how to connect with these muscles. We need to learn how to connect with that pelvic floor, connect with those deep ab muscles, and then apply it to all these different activities that you're doing throughout the day. Activities that you're doing when you're taking care of your baby, activities that you're doing when you're taking care of yourself, when you're cleaning the house, or taking care of your other kids. You need to be able to connect with that pelvic floor and deep abs and build strength in those muscles over time. Now, one of the most common things that people tell you to do is a kegel. But a lot of the times we aren't even doing these kegels right, so we're not even connecting with our pelvic floor properly. And a lot of the times when people tell us how to contract our deep abs, there's a whole bunch of different cueing that causes us to do it wrong. And a lot of the times, this brings me to mistake number 3, is because we have mobility deficits in our body, mobility deficits in our rib cage, our neck, our back, our hips, we can't engage these muscles properly. So mistake number 3, not having proper mobility. Mobility is super important in after having kids, because like I said, we have this natural lengthening of our ab wall, natural lengthening of our pelvic floor, and this disrupts our posture. And our posture is just our body's resting position. And because our posture is disrupted, what this is going to do, it's going to cause us to be a little bit stiffer in different areas. And because we have this stiffness in all these different areas, our body's not going to be able to move like it once did. So incorporating mobility work is going to be super important in, 1, getting our body to, again, move a little bit better so it feels a little bit better, but also to be able to engage those muscles, to be able to do all the things that we need to do in this 0 to 6 week period and then go beyond that. There's no lead up to number 4. Number 4, not eating enough. So we talked about all these different things that we are navigating in this 0 to 6 week time period. So we just carried a baby for potentially 9 months. That's a trauma on our body. We pushed trauma on our body, potentially C-section, trauma on our body. Now we have a newborn to care for, different stressor or trauma on your body, good trauma at that, but it's still a stressor. You're navigating new relationship changes. You're potentially taking care of other kids, taking care of all these different things that are going on throughout the house. This is a lot on your body. And what your body needs in this time period is nourishment. And we get this nourishment from food. And if we are not eating enough food, this is gonna affect our healing. This is gonna affect our nervous system. It's gonna affect how we feel and show up in our day-to-day and our health long-term. So we need to make sure that we are eating enough to fuel our body. So I posted a video a few weeks back on nutrition. So if this is you and you're struggling with nutrition or struggling with, hey, am I eating the right things? Am I eating enough? Go back to that video. But you need to make sure that you are eating enough to fuel you, potentially even fuel your baby, because if you're breastfeeding, your body needs even more food. So you want to make sure that you're fueling your body to be able to feed your baby, but also feed yourself so that your body is able to do all the things that we need to do. And with that, I want you to make sure that you're eating the proper types of foods. So I'm not just saying eat anything and everything, because that's absolutely wrong. You do not want to do that. You want to be eating the right types of foods. Some grass-fed organic beef, fish, pasture-raised eggs. Those are vital for your body, giving your body the protein that it needs, but also so many extra micronutrients that your body needs to heal. Lots of plants, lots of fruits and veggies to, again, give your body additional micronutrients, fiber to support your overall system and your overall health. Those are going to be vital for your body. And making sure that you're eating enough throughout the day. All these are super important. Mistake number 5, too much cardio. And it has been ingrained in us since we were young. In order to lose body fat, we need to burn more calories than we consume. And we do that by eating less food, which we just talked about why we're not particularly gonna do that right now. Maybe a little bit less, but we're not gonna significantly reduce the amount of calories that we need. But we also start to increase the calories that we burn. And we do this typically by cardio. And we can do this cardio by walking, running, maybe some like high intense workout. And this is never to say that you shouldn't be walking more, running more, having more intense workouts. But there's a time and a place for each of these things. And depending on who you are, where you are in your journey, how recently you had your baby, the type of cardio you choose, the amount of cardio you choose, the intensity of the cardio you choose might be a little bit different. And we also do not want to neglect the strength training component. If we're doing cardio, especially intense cardio, and we never connected with our pelvic floor and deep core, we might not have the proper mechanics to do all this cardio that we're doing, which may contribute to additional symptoms. This might contribute to potentially leakage, some pressure in your pelvic region. You can't lose your belly, maybe some tension in your neck, back pain. All of those can be related into not connecting with our body, not connecting with this core first, not incorporating that mobility. And then on top of that, you start to do intense cardio on top of that. So we need to pull it back a little bit. We want to make sure that we address all the proper things first, and then we start to incorporate cardio that is appropriate for you. Usually I recommend starting off with walking. At some point in time, it could progress to running, maybe those high intensity workouts. But starting off with just running right off the bat, especially if your body is not prepared for it, you're gonna see some negative consequences. And this could be in terms of feeling like yourself, looking like yourself again, or yourself 2.0, because after you have kids, you're gonna be a little bit different, and that is not a bad thing. But we wanna make sure that we're doing it in a way that's gonna benefit our body. So all the things that I just talked about in the previous 2, this applies to here, right? So usually you're starting off with walking, potentially starting to run, and then eventually it starts to look like even some higher intensity workouts. But we wanna make sure that we do all the right things first. And this leads me to the second part of too much cardio. So again, a lot of us do excessive cardio so that we are burning more calories than we consume. And yes, that helps us to burn more calories than we consume. What this does is it helps us to, yes, we're gonna lose weight, but are we losing body fat or are we losing muscle mass? Because when we do this, especially when we start to do this in excess, you're gonna lose the body fat, but you might potentially lose the muscle mass at the same time. And that muscle mass is vital. This muscle mass is vital so that you're able to do all the things that you need to do throughout your day. This helps to keep your metabolism high so that you're able to eat a good amount of food and not see negative consequences of it. This helps you be stronger, helps you take on more in your day. And your muscles are literally the organ of longevity. So if we are just doing cardio, we're losing our weight, we might be losing some muscle mass, and we're gonna see some negative consequences of that. And it's gonna be harder to sustain. So yes, do your cardio, Do it in a way that's going to benefit your body. Do it in a way that's appropriate for you. But also make sure you're doing some strength training as well. Now this leads me to mistake number 6, lifting weights. So yes, maybe you are doing some cardio. Yes, maybe you are already doing some strength training. So that is great. But we want to make sure that we're lifting weights properly. And we're going to have a harder time lifting weights if we never learn to reconnect with our body first. Because these pelvic floor and deep ab muscles, these help to support our posture. These help to support our internal pressure. And all I mean by internal pressure, this is the pressure within our chest and belly. And if we don't have connection with these muscles, if we don't have strength within these muscles, when we go to lift weights, what that's gonna do, it's gonna put more pressure downward. And this pressure could go downward into our pelvic floor and belly region, leading to potential symptoms of incontinence, prolapse, prolonging the healing of your DRA, because we're just putting too much pressure downward and we don't have control of these muscles. So this is all to say, connect with your pelvic floor first, connect with those deep ab first, and then learn how to integrate these into your workouts, because this is going to be vital in preventing any hiccups along the way. And I say this to say that because these are mistakes that people make. Why are they mistakes? Are they mistakes because it's preventing your fitness goals? Or is it a mistake because it's causing some harm in your body that you don't necessarily know that it's particular harm? So it is both. So yes, I say this to say that you could do this stuff to help your body composition goals, but I don't want you to experience aches and pains along the way, because long-term, this can significantly slow you down. And as you do these things more and more, and you keep ignoring these things and you keep putting it off, these things are harder to come back from. So I'm saying this right now so that you understand these mistakes, so that you could take the proper steps to help your body heal appropriately so that you could reach your goals quicker without any of these hiccups. Is mistake number 7, ignoring the stress of the postpartum life. Like I said before, you are navigating so much right now. Again, you just carried a baby for 9 months. You've had that natural lengthening of your belly, natural lengthening of your pelvic floor. These areas, they had a certain level of trauma. You pushed a certain level of trauma on these pelvic floor muscles. They maybe cut through your belly, a certain level of trauma through these belly muscles. Now you have a newborn to take care of. Maybe you're not sleeping enough. Maybe you're not eating enough, potentially breastfeeding as well. Maybe you have some other kids that you're taking care of at the same time, and you're taking care of a house, maybe cooking, cleaning, and you have to take care of yourself on top of that. These are a lot on your body. And now you feel like you have to snap back for whatever reason. Again, this is all a lot on your body. So this is all to say, be kind to your body. Give yourself some time, because it will take time. And if you feel like you constantly have to do more and more to snap back, try to just take a second, pause for a second, talk to yourself, give yourself kind words, because it will take time. And the more time you give yourself, the more grace that you give yourself, and the proper steps that you take to connect with your body better, the better your body will feel in the long term. You can do it. You absolutely can do it, as long as you take the proper steps. And that is exactly what I do. Maybe you already started to experience potentially these aches and pains. Potentially you still have your DRA, you're struggling to lose your belly. You have maybe some potential pelvic floor dysfunction, such as incontinence, prolapse, pain, or maybe you're having a little bit of pain with intimacy. That is exactly why I made my free training. So I will link that in the show notes below. So please watch that video. You will learn so much in this training. It'll talk a little bit more about some of the things that I just discussed in a better sequence. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.